recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Work in Progress. I am your host, of course, Brent. I was going to call myself at Brent Piles. I'm not at Brent Piles. I'm just Brent Piles.
Yeah.
There's no at on my birth certificate. I don't think. I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure there's no at on there. I am your host, Brent Piles, with no at. I guess I'm at the Good Life Gooner if you want to follow me on Threads, I guess, but I mostly only talk about soccer. So if you're into soccer, check that out. If it doesn't matter, with me, of course, is my co-host, the Bar and Brawl and Disco Dancing Dynamite Stretching Intercontinental Playboy. Folks, he's more over than tearing your muscles at G. Russell. Glenn, got it. Glenn, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you. And I don't do much apart talk for wrestling and football either.
Well, there you go. I mean, I really enjoy talking about football. That's where I get most of my I get more interactions talking about football than I ever do about wrestling. That's for sure.
Although, for some reason on the old Twitter X, there seems to have been a spur of horror fans come up. Obviously, filling the gaps where I block so many wrestling fans. So I'm quite enjoying that at the moment, talking to some of them.
You mean like horror movie fans?
Horror movie fans, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not a big horror movie guy, so I wouldn't be good to talk to about that. I don't want the wife likes the horror movies, me not so much.
I'm more into the older, more classic ones.
Okay.
Anything up to 1970, basically. So
when I was in school, I use that term loosely. I had a class called movie literature, and this was my favorite class, Glenn, because all we did was watch movies, and we watched the original Psycho, and I quite enjoyed that, even as a stoned junior in high school.
Yeah, it's not very gory, but it's sinister as hell.
Right. And I think that's my whole thing about horror movies is I don't want to see all that gore and shit. Like, and I don't think that it needs it, because you can go a long way with being subtle with things than you can with actually showing what happens.
Oh yeah, I actually think one of the most scariest movies of all time is the original Jaws.
Oh,
Right up until the fact that you actually see the rubber shark. Until Bruce shows up, then that is one of the scariest movies there are, because all you've got is the thought of what's lurking under there. That John Williams soundtrack.
Yeah, just the music, yeah. And that's also something that you can legitimately fear. Like, you could go to the ocean and get bit by a shark. You know what I mean? That's something that could legitimately happen to you. Obviously, you probably wouldn't be eaten by a shark that big, but...
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of them about. But I have this arrangement with sharks. I don't go where they are, and they don't turn up outside my house.
That's That's the same way I am, Glenn. I used to live in San Diego when I was very young, so I've been to the ocean, but I ain't going in any further than about knee deep. That's it. I ain't going any further. No, thank you. That's horror movie enough for me. I was going to say something else to you, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, we won our football match yesterday, Glenn. Yes. They sure made us sweat it out, didn't they?
How could we forget that? 80 minutes of coasting it.
Well, I wouldn't say 80 because 45. The first 45 was. I guess they did coast, but it was still dulling.
They didn't have a shot on target even in the first 45.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace. Not Crystal Palace. So the Forest. They did not have a shot on target. In fact, they had as many shots on target as Crystal Palace did the last game.
Yeah, I felt like it was going to be one of those ones where we knock it around for 90 minutes and not score a goal. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was dreading that it was going to get to sort of the 88th minute and somebody do something stupid like have it hit their hand in the penalty area or something and give them a win.
Yeah, or because Forest is really good on the break, and so every time they got out on the break, it made me a little bit nervous.
But a second half was a totally different story until they conceded that one stupid goal on the break, as you said.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and winning for us, especially at Forest, is a hard thing to do.
Oh yeah, no, there've been no pushover for us at all. And we've got the big one on Sunday.
Yeah, which I believe Chelsea and Liverpool kick off here in about 30 minutes, I think. So or
Yeah.
they may have kicked off already.
I don't think so. I think it is about
It's 2:00. 2:00 my time anyway.
it's 8 o'clock kickoff. I think.
All right.
No, it's adverts. They're not started yet.
So, like, some of the positives, most of the positives I took from the last two games from Arsenal is Gabriel Jesus is looking like his old self. He's got the fire in his eyes. His feet seem to be back underneath him, so that's a really good sign. They got Smith Rowe back out there on the pitch, and I'll be interested to see when what's his name, Thomas.
Pate.
Yeah, Pate. When he comes back too, I'll be very interested to see how that what happens with that too. So
yeah.
I mean, as bad as the month of December and most of January was for us, February it's starting to look better, and February is looking good. Let's hopefully they play well against Liverpool on Sunday.
Yes, yeah. That's all we can hope for is that they turn up.
That's right. That's right. I mean, they played very well last time they played Liverpool. Well, I guess they played pretty well in the FA Cup game too, didn't they? Only lost 1-0.
They did. They won that against the run of play. They won it 2-0, but the first goal was against the run of play, and then we had like 9 men forward trying to get the equaliser when they scored their second.
Yeah, it's one of those things where at the end you're trying to score a goal and then
it is that thing. If it's got to the 80-something minute, you're 1-0 down. You might as well go down 2-0 or try and get a goal back.
Right, you can't get less than 0 points.
No,
then they can't get more than 4.
There's no point. Yeah, there's no point of sitting on a 1-0 loss.
Yeah, no. Definitely not. You might as well throw everybody forward and try to put a fucking goal in the net. Absolutely. I mean, they do the same thing in hockey. In hockey, they take the goalie out and put another guy on the ice if you're down. If you're down.
I used to love when I used to go to Arsenal regularly. Our seats were basically just behind the substitutes dugout.
Uh-huh.
So I had all the substitutes in front of us, and the games where Arsene Wenger decided that he could rest Omri and Bergkamp. There's sometimes you could see the opposition's manager going, "Oh God, we've scored. I know what's going to happen now."
You're like, "Ah, shit! Now they're going to put him in, aren't they?"
Yeah.
Well, while it lasted, we should have waited until the 90th minute to score.
Yeah. I've heard that a few times. Oh, we scored too early.
And speaking of other football, I've been watching the Asia Cup, and they're in the knockout stage now. And this game happened a couple days ago, but I finally got around to watching the replay. It was Iraq versus Jordan. So Jordan goes up early, 1 goal, and then Iraq in the second half comes down and scores 2. They're up 2-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then here comes Jordan though back. Jordan ties it up 2-2, and then they tied it up 2-2 in like the 92nd minute, and then again like a minute later they scored again and they won 4-3. It was fucking crazy.
There have been some crazy matches in that Africa Cup.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Some of it not the best quality, but it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's not usually the best quality, but you just never know what the fuck's gonna happen. Like it's just like shit like that. It was like because like I can obviously see because it's a replay that there's only 7 minutes left, and the game's 2-1 or whatever, and I'm like, well, nobody must score because it doesn't go into extra time. But then somebody scores and it's 2-2. You're like, well, fuck, somebody's got to find another goal in the next 4 minutes because this thing's not going in extra time.
Did you see that? I can't remember who it was, where the goalkeeper rushed out of his area, wiped out the player, but didn't do it enough that the player was still managed to get himself up before the goalkeeper got up again.
Yeah.
God.
If you're gonna do that, you got to get the ball, buddy.
Yeah. Or take the player out completely. Don't let him get up again before you're up.
No kidding. At that point. All right, well, that's the end of the football portion of this podcast, and now we'll take you back to your regularly scheduled programming. It was the Royal Rumble, Glenn. It was this Saturday, this past Saturday, and I would just like to tell everyone that you are looking at me, the new prediction pay-per-view champion, for at least until Saturday or Sunday, whenever the NXT show is. So maybe I can hold on to it for a week.
And Sunday, I'm getting it back.
But so, Glenn, how did you feel about this Royal Rumble Premium Live event?
The women's was really, really good. Probably the best women's Rumble they've had. The guys was okay. Overall, the show was really solid.
Yeah, I have to agree with everything that you said. It was my son's birthday. He was turned 19 that day, so I had some people over here, and they were nice enough to agree to watch the Royal Rumble with me, watch the Royal Rumble matches with me, and play the drinking game that I forced everyone to play. I mean, everyone who is of age, of course. I mean, drinking game, and so they were nice enough to do that, and I didn't want them to have to watch wrestling the entire night. So I didn't watch all the matches the night of the show, but I did go back and watch the Fatal 4-Way. I watched it this morning, and then I watched me and Glenn actually watched some of the United States Championship match together, didn't we, Glenn?
We certainly did. Yeah, and that's what cost me my title. Bloody Logan Paul cheating.
Well, I mean, technically, it was because Kevin Owens cheated that you lost, man.
Yeah, but if Logan Paul hadn't introduced the nuts in the first place.
Yeah, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, Glenn. That's all I'm trying to do. But let's talk about the women's Royal Rumble.
Start with the top, because that's. I'm going to say something controversial here.
Oh boy,
Nia Jax probably looks as good as she's ever looked.
You know, Glenn, I don't think that is controversial. I think you're right.
She doesn't look like she's actually physically hurting people anymore. She looks like she's become a wrestler all of a sudden, but she still looks powerful and. Those leg drops you do. You wouldn't want to be underneath one of those, even if it is kayfabe.
No fucking thank you. Yeah, not me. But yeah, I know. I agree with you. She looked great in the Royal Rumble. She's looked great since she came back. I know a lot of people don't like her for whatever reasons that they have not to like her. But if you wanted to go down the list and go character flaws with wrestlers, you probably wouldn't like a lot of them. So,
yeah.
But her in-ring stuff has been good, and I thought she looked great out there in the Royal Rumble. I think you're absolutely right. She's never looked better than she looks right now.
I love how I know people got their long knives out for Triple H for various reasons at the moment, none of which I think are probably justified. But the way that he sets these things up now, having Natty come out, it was, when they had Jinder Mahal come out the other week.
Yeah.
When everybody thought it was going to be Punk. Now, starting with Natty come out, number one. And everybody goes, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you have Naomi's entrance and the place went bananas.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's better when they have the surprise be 2 instead of 1, because 1, you're always expecting it. And so 2 is when 2, you're like, oh, well, I wonder who 2 is going to be. It's probably going to be,
And if it's later on, then it takes something away from the ones that are already there.
Yeah, I agree.
If you get a big surprise, it wasn't a big surprise because it was obvious that she was coming back.
Yeah.
But to get it out the way early was a nice touch, so it didn't impact on the match.
Also, it was nice because Naomi got to come out there. She got to do her whole big thing, and the crowd got to really embrace her, which I thought was a really great moment for her. She got a real big embrace from the crowd, and she wouldn't have been able to do that if she comes in at number 22. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it had to be 1 or 2. So yeah, I thought that was great. I love that she had Naomi written into the back of her hair.
Yeah.
And then she was out there for a long, long time. I thought she looked great. Hopefully they actually do something with her, because I don't believe that they ever really got behind her. Even when she was SmackDown Women's Champion, I don't ever believe that they got behind her. And she's one of the more athletic women's wrestlers that you're ever going to see. So hopefully this means good things for Naomi. She looked great in the Royal Rumble, that's for sure.
they've obviously given her sort of assurances and guarantees of stuff to get her to come back.
Right.
And that having the Naomi in her hair, it sort of solidified it. Oh, she's not come back just as a one-off as Trinity.
Right.
She's come back as Naomi.
Yeah. And speaking of people who were impressive in the Royal Rumble, the Impact of the TNA Women's Champion, Knockout Champion, I think is what they call it, right? The Knockouts Champion, Jordan Grace. Holy cow! I mean, I knew who she was and I'd seen her before, but a lot of people haven't. And good God, she is an athletic freak, that's for sure.
She certainly is. She's a beefy girl. And yeah, I was surprised. That was a nice surprise to see her. I thought there'd be some of the guys, but I didn't realize that they were going to have her come in. And she was the perfect one, considering who else they had.
Right. And she's the women's champion, so she's a women's champion there. So, and I think that would be a great thing for them to do every year if they could get the Impact Knockouts or the TNA Women Knockouts champion in the Royal Rumble every year. That'd be fucking cool.
Yeah, didn't they last year?
Not last year, but the year before. I think Mickie James.
Yeah, she was the Knockout champion.
Yeah, because I don't remember anybody from TNA or Impact at that time in last year's Royal Rumble. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I think it was just the one year where it was Mickie James. But I mean, I've read that they're not going to do anything further together. But I just think why wouldn't you just put the Knockout champion in there in the Royal Rumble? Why not? Makes sense.
And there's no guarantee that they won't because they're all under the same company now, aren't they? So.
Yeah, so I don't think that they're owned by the same company, but I think that TKO distributes TNA's TV.
I thought they'd bought the rights to TNA as well.
Maybe they did. I thought it was just that they were going to distribute their TV product or their.
It may be, but even though there's that bridge there now,
right? They're all still the same fucking barrel, I guess you want to say.
Yeah, and introducing her at the Royal Rumble was certainly more than the other company ever did with the TNA collaborations.
I won't speak to that because I don't know enough about it, but I do know that Kenny Omega had like 17 belts at one point or something like that, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Kenny Omega's great. I mean, as far as what I've seen of Kenny Omega, I like him, but that's a lot of belts. Imagine going to the airport.
In my predictions, I predicted Bayley to win this.
Samesies.
And I was confident of our win when she came in at number 3. So they haven't got her at number 1, but coming in at number 3, she's probably going to go on and do it.
I never felt good about my Bayley pick. I said it because that's what my heart wanted. And so I was really happy when Bayley won because I think it's about goddamn time that Bayley got her WrestleMania Championship match, her one-on-one WrestleMania Championship match. Never had a one-on-one match at WrestleMania, Bayley. That's criminal. That's criminal that it hasn't happened. So finally she's going to get it.
Yeah, I don't know who against yet, but she's going to get it.
Yeah, I have a feeling there's going to be some ripping apart of Damage Control, and she'll end up facing Io, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Especially
with threatening her on Monday, basically saying you don't want to wrestle me, run off, wrestle Io.
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't want to fight her either. And I feel like it's going to be Becky and Rhea at WrestleMania. I think that's one more beast that Rhea needs to slay. She slayed Charlotte, and now it's time for her to slay Becky.
Yeah. Talking about the big strong girls, Ivy Nile again showing her power was another good. I think there were more people that looked at the ceiling of that building during that match between Ivy Nile, Jordan Grace, who's the other? Oh God, I've gone blank.
I mean, the other big debut is that who you're talking about?
Yeah,
Jade?
yeah, Jade Cargill,
Yeah.
and of course Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
All that people sort of 8 foot in the air at one time or another.
Well, there was the one spot where I think it was Jordan Grace and Bianca Belair at the same time, like pick two people up for a body slam at
Just
once.
walked away and dropped them on their faces. But then again, this brings me back to this thing with Royal Rumbles. If you've got that much power where you can pick people up over your head, and this has gone back to my early days of watching Davey in Royal Rumbles. If you can bench press somebody over your head in a Royal Rumble, the next thing you do is you drop them onto the floor. Don't slam them back onto the mat or walk away from underneath them.
You gotta drop them. You gotta throw it. You gotta chuck them out once you got them up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm sure I said more than once. My friend Glenn hates when they pick them up and don't throw them.
Yes, yeah, I do. It really annoys me.
Yeah, so Jade Cargill also came in. I believe she was 28, wasn't she?
I've got the list here. Let's have a look. Yep, 28.
No.
Just after Roxanne Perez. There was some really good NXT debuts in the Rumble as well.
Yeah, Tiffany Stratton as well. Was in there.
Good to see Alba Fire. Shame that Isla wasn't partaking.
I mean, it was good to see Isla Dawn, but she didn't get in the ring. But still good to see her because it's always good to see her.
Oh, yeah. The only small little pick of the nit that you could have with this was having Liv Morgan at number 30. I couldn't see the point in that.
I don't really have a problem with that because she'd been out for a little while and this is her coming back. So
apart from that, I say it's probably the best women's Rumble that there's been. Stories were good. There was lots of good storytelling. The fact that Jade Cargill actually picked Jax up and chucks her.
Yeah.
That's a statement to make on your debut.
And then you got the stare down between Belair and Jade Cargill, which I mean, that looks pretty fucking good on a WrestleMania poster, Kyle.
It was that sort of that Spider-Man meme, wasn't it?
I think Pat McAfee said that too. It's like the Spider-Man meme, yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, that's gonna look great on a WrestleMania poster. Those two.
Yeah.
They're gonna look like Greek goddesses out there. Good Lord. Yeah, I have no complaints about the Women's Royal Rumble at all. It was probably the best Women's Royal Rumble that there's been, and one of the better Royal Rumbles over the last probably 10 years. It was really good.
Yeah.
And then we had, which I was surprised that they had this match go second. I thought they would put the U.S. title match out and then this one, but maybe they. It was weird because this was like considered the cool down match, but it is the World Heavyweight Championship match. I'm sorry, the WWE Undisputed Championship match. Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, LA Knight, and Randy Orton. I thought there was some really good timing in this Fatal 4-Way match. Matches like that are a little too much for me because they usually got 4 guys flying around everywhere. But I like this one. This had good psychology in it. I loved the finish. I loved the way the match finished. I thought it was a really good finish for a match that had 4 guys in it.
Yeah, and I don't know why they needed Solo Sikoa. There was no need. There was no need. Every time Roman's critics, they all say the same thing. That he doesn't win without the help of Solo or Jimmy or Jay back in the day.
Yeah.
So it would have been nice if he'd just gone and won this one clean and shown everybody that he can still do it without any help.
But yeah, still a fun match. You're right. Maybe the Solo Sikoa interference wasn't totally needed. But I enjoyed the match. I mean, I didn't see any outcome other than Roman Reigns winning.
No. I think we all went for Reigns, didn't we?
Yeah, I think a lot of people had hopes and dreams out there that maybe Randy Orton would win it. But
that wasn't going to happen.
No, that was never going to happen. And then we had, Glenn, unless you had any more thoughts on the 4-Way match.
No.
And then we had the United States Championship match between Kevin Owens and Logan Paul. And Kevin Owens really showed Logan Paul that sometimes wrestling hurts a lot.
He did. He did. He looked like he. Well, we watched it just now. Logan Paul looked like he'd been beaten up by 3 men at the end.
Yeah, he looked like he had been jumped. Yeah. Or something. Yeah, but I thought it was a great match. I know a lot of people don't love disqualification finishes, but I think it works here. Me and Glenn talked about when we were watching this. I think the Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, Logan Paul, I think that's a great group because they're all three really annoying people who are really good at being annoying and have punchable faces. And so I think those guys work really well together. And then even when Logan's not on TV, you can have them out there being his fanboys. So I think that really works.
Well, that's it. There's something for Kevin to do up to WrestleMania with the other two, trying to keep them fended off without Logan having to be around, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
having them as his lackeys.
I saw an interview that he did with Kayla Braxton after Logan Paul, and she asked him, "What do you have to say to anybody who wants to take you on for the U.S. title next?" He said, come and get it." And then he told her, "I just need a minute." He looked like it hurt, like he was hurting. And I'm not throwing shade. Kevin Owens to beat the shit out of me and make me look much worse.
I know, but it just goes to show. I think he was taught a little bit of a lesson there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hell of a match. So I of all the matches that Logan had, I would say that was probably my favorite one, just because it was really hard hitting.
And then after that, of course, it was the men's Rumble.
Yes, the men's Royal Rumble. I'm gonna be honest with you, Glenn. I didn't rewatch this one yet, and I had drank a few glasses of wine, a couple of bottles, and I had about 4 or 5 shots of peanut butter whiskey. So it's a little foggy.
Oh, we forgot to mention in the women, R-Truth.
Oh!
I was just about to mention him in the men's, and I thought we did mention him in the women.
I forgot about that. Yeah, Valhalla's coming out here. All of a sudden, here comes R-Truth. And the look he gave her as he ran by.
Yeah.
For R-Truth to give somebody a weird look, they got to be looking weird. You know what I mean?
He gets in the ring and he's played by Nia Jax.
And he looks around like, what the hell? Where's all the guys? He said. One of my other favorite things is Valhalla's coming out and Michael Cole's like, please have the antlers on. Please have the antlers. She's got the antlers. Maybe she's going to win this thing. And Pat McAfee's like, what's with the antlers? Like, do they have some sort of magic power or something? You keep telling me about these antlers.
It was...
I thought it was funny.
Anyway, yeah. Back to the men's thing. Having the Usos out 1 and 2. That's a hark back, isn't it? I'm sure you could tell me which year the Royal Rumble had brothers in 1 and 2.
Had brothers 1 and 2? So 94 has the Steiners at 1 and 3, and they're in there at one time fighting each other, but they're not 1 and 2.
Oh, right. Probably not then. There's probably not. If you can't recall, there probably wasn't a time.
Okay, well, the Hardys were in the Royal Rumble together too, but they were also one was 1, one was 3.
Yeah, later on.
I don't know if the Bashams were. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just throwing out.
That's what it was with those two. They were going to have to fight at some point.
I wouldn't mind that being a WrestleMania match this year.
No.
That'd be fun.
Oh, definitely not. This, I thought, it died in the middle. There wasn't enough where the women had stories going on the whole way through.
Yeah.
This just seemed to turn into a bit of a melee in the middle. And it went a bit slow.
Yeah. I was really happy with the finish of it.
The finish is perfect.
Yeah.
So they ended up with 6 guys in the ring at the end that could have all won it.
Yeah, exactly. And you really didn't know which way it was going. I know a lot of people were like,
No.
"Oh, it had to be Punk." Well, evidently it didn't have to be Punk.
No.
And I don't know. Like I saw something. This is just when I was looking through Instagram, not trying to find news sites, but you could throw a rock and hit a news site. Unfortunately, or when I say news site, like a news site. I saw one that they quoted Ryback as the source. If you're looking to talk about morality and you're quoting Ryback, you got the wrong fucking guy. You know what I mean? Like, what? Okay, Ryback, really? He's the one? Okay,
They couldn't get anybody else.
fucking Ryback. And I was like, block. Anyway, they said that maybe Punk got hurt during the Rumble and they talked to the referees and they called an audible, and that's why Cody won it. And maybe that is correct.
May well be, but who knows?
Who knows? But I was really happy that Cody won.
I think Cody won it because Cody against Roman was always their plan. I would have thought at WrestleMania, and with Punk and with Seth being doubtful as well. Even before Punk got injured, that was a belt and braces thing. The decision was made to put it on Cody rather than Punk, because what would be the point? You'd end up either having Cody as a spare bit at a wedding, or Punk as, if Punk wins that, because there'd be nobody that they could have both, unless you turned it into a three-way dance.
Yeah,
a Universal title, which they've done before, and it doesn't really work.
We're not a podcast that's usually a fan of triple threat matches or four-way matches or five-way matches or six-way matches or eight-way matches. Unless it's a ladder match. If you want to throw 8 guys in a ladder match, I'm cool with that. Or a battle royal. But I don't want to watch 8 guys flipping and flying around the ring. I want to see 2 guys telling me a fucking story. That's what I want to see.
And R-Truth.
Or 2 ladies telling me a story. Either way.
No, that's it. R-Truth again created history in a Royal Rumble match. It's the first time there's been a hot tag in a Royal Rumble match, tagging with Tom and Nick Mysterio, should I say?
Tag them both in at the same time. You did a double hot tag in the Royal Rumble match. You don't see that in every Rumble.
No, you certainly won't see it again, I don't think.
That's how foggy things were, Glenn. I don't remember that at all. I'm trying to picture it, but I can't. I have to go back and watch the men's Royal Rumble next too, because I remember Punk winning. I remember I remember Cody winning, and I remember celebrating. But beyond that, it's a little foggy, buddy.
He came out and he just stood on the apron, and Dominic's there getting beaten up by somebody, and he's reaching for the tag.
Yeah, I saw pictures of this, but I guess the fucking the lights were on, but nobody was home at that point.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, the final 4 were CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, and Gunther. No complaints there whatsoever.
No, I mean 4 legitimate guys, and 4 guys that they've been pushing as legitimate guys who could win it. Yes.
Yeah, I love Pat McAfee as well. What he did.
Oh yeah, I would have done the same.
Somebody actually came up with a good theory on this, but that was supposed to have been Brock's plot.
So I believe this came from a certain guy in California that's been covering wrestling for a long time. I won't say his name. That Braun came in at Brock's spot.
Oh, right.
I mean, you could be right too. Which I mean, that makes perfect sense as well.
Because because you've got the 2 big guys in there. To have Brock come out would have been with Omos and who else was it in there at that time? I can't remember.
I'm trying to think of a big person. Bronson Reed, maybe?
Oh, I think it was. Yeah. Yeah, because Pat got in there, took one look, and just stepped back out of the rope, over the rope.
Yeah, I remember that. He climbed up on the top rope, and then he was like on the middle rope. He looked in there and saw them and said, "Nah, I'm good."
which again is exactly what you would do.
That's what I would do. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't probably even got my ass. I would have got into the ring like a hornswoggle.
Yeah.
So I'd have done all the way to WrestleMania, pal. Yeah. So from what I remember, it was the ending was fun.
It was.
An enjoyable premium live event, an enjoyable night of wrestling where I made eight people watch the Royal Rumble with me, which that never happened. So that was a good time. I had fun subjecting people who don't watch wrestling to wrestling.
I would say that overall, this was an A show, with the Women's Royal Rumble being A plus, and the Men's Rumble being a B plus, with Kevin and Logan Paul being an A plus, and the Fatal 4-Way for the title being an A.
You're a little more generous on that one than I would be. I'd probably give it a B, the 4-Way. But the rest of that, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It was, I don't think it was quite as good as last year's Royal Rumble, but it was one of the better ones.
If you put last year's men's with this year's women's.
Oh, that best Royal Rumble ever.
Yeah, that is exactly it. Yeah.
And the Women's Royal Rumble last year was great too.
Yeah, but it just wasn't. It didn't quite. Last year's women's one was a bit more like this year's men's one, where they told some good stories at the start and they told some good stories at the end, but it sort of went flat in the middle.
Yeah,
and that's what happened with this year's men's one, where the women this year there was people being added and things happening the whole time. Those 2 minutes were going nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. Definitely. So yeah, for us, it's a 2 thumbs up show for the
2 thumbs up show. Yeah.
For the Royal Rumble. We'll be on to Elimination Chamber match, which starts at 3:30 a.m. where I live, Glenn.
Oh dear.
I was gonna say this is the part where you tell me to cry. This is the part where you say "Cry me a river."
Oh dear. Mind you, it's not good for me either. It's 8:30 in the morning. I don't see 8:30 since I've not been working.
Yeah,
I don't see 8:30 in the morning.
No.
Oh, I'm always up to about 5:30, and
You know what? Good point. You're right. You know what? I'm thinking. I mean, I don't sleep much past 6, except for this Sunday because I drank too much watching the Royal Rumble, and so I was in bed until about 2:30.
Exactly.
Hence, you can tell I don't drink all that often, but it was a special occasion, and I had too much peanut butter whiskey.
But with you, a 4-hour show starts at 8 or 7 for you.
Yeah, 7, 8 for the man.
No, finishes at 11.
Yeah.
So you're in bed by midnight.
Yes.
I'm in bed by 5 at the early.
Yeah, exactly. Me watching Elimination Chamber, I'll be up watching it, and then I'll probably fall asleep at 4:30, and then I'll have to get up and watch the rest of it. I would, if it was 8:30 in the morning here, forget about it. I mean, get up, I watch a soccer game and wrestling at the same time, Glenn. Best day of my life.
Yeah, that's right.
Best day of my life.
That's with the Saudi, isn't it? You get it at that sort of time in the morning.
Yes, Saudi's like around noonish, so usually around lunchtime. 11 a.m.
Oh yeah, because they have it. Yeah, it's. I don't know why they didn't have it during the day over there in Australia.
Yeah, so I read that for like UFC shows, they do it early. They do it in like the morning in Australia, so it's still in the evening here.
Yeah,
but I guess they just got a new TV deal in that market, so they wanted to make sure that it was live in prime time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I suppose
for the people in Australia. So I think that's why they did it.
They don't get it very often. They get it even less often than we do.
Right. I don't think they've been there like they especially do a big show like this since like Super Showdown, which was like in fucking 2018 or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Which it should be interesting. And yes, I will try to get up and watch it, but I can't be sure that I'm gonna stay awake the whole time. All right.
I'm gonna be with it. I will try and get up and watch it, but who knows? Especially if we're recording on the Friday.
You know what? We'll try to record early. Maybe we'll try to record earlier in the.
Yeah.
I won't have to go out to eat or anything that night. All right, Glenn. So since we usually do a Warning to Attitude on this time this week, we're recording with our buddy Dan Griffin, where we will be reviewing WWF One Night Only. That will be out next Tuesday. Be on the lookout for that. We're recording that on Saturday. Glenn wanted to show me a match that I've seen before, but I don't remember. It is Bobby Barnes taking on the one and only Catweazle.
This is from I can't. I've got the notes of the year now, but it's for a World of Sport recording that used to go out on a Saturday afternoon in the UK. For anybody that doesn't know.
All right, World of Sport 1982. It doesn't say like the year, and it doesn't say like the date or anything, but it's from 1982. No,
yeah.
So I was not even born at this point. Not even a twinkle in my father's eye. Not that I ever was one, but that's another story. All right, here we go, Glenn. Are you ready? Any other Catweazle facts you want to give it to us or tell us? Or Bobby Barnes facts that we need to know before we watch this match?
I will go on as we go on because there's things here. Catweazle, for anybody that's watching this can see, is that his gimmick is based on a TV character, a wizard, who is a medieval wizard that got sort of transported in time to the modern times in 1970, whatever it was.
Wow. That sounds like a fun show, to be honest with you, Glenn.
I will try. I will have a look, see if we could get an episode of it, and we'll watch it with the mayor because it is hilarious.
Oh God, I bet it is.
And the actor that played Catweazle in the original show is a bloke called Jeffrey Balladon. This guy stole his gimmick basically, and
one man's stealing is another man's borrowing, Glenn.
Yeah, well, he borrowed the gimmick then. In the original show, he had a pet frog. So that's why this Catweazle has got a plastic frog with him.
Oh, well, fucking goddamn it, Glenn. I'm going to press play then because I want to see this pet weasel. I mean, pet. Now I'm confused. He's got a pet frog, not a cat or a weasel. Sorry, I was confused. Maybe he does. Maybe he has a weasel and a cat. We don't know. But right now he's got a plastic frog. He looks like a friar.
There he is.
Oh wow. Or a homeless man.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. It's like a stuffed frog.
Yeah, it's a stuffed frog.
I had one of those. You think they sold many of those as merch?
I doubt it.
I like he's like in a burlap sack. Good God, this guy looks like Boy George. Or
we saw him with blonde hair against Les Kelly.
Oh yeah! What in the fuck is he wearing? He's not gonna wrestle with that. No.
He's.
Look at his pasty white legs. Oh God. I like this guy's purple hair. I also like his. I don't know what you would call that. What would you call that, Glenn? What's that jacket called?
Gown.
Okay. Yeah. My granny had one of those.
It's too fancy to be a dressing gown, but it's definitely a gown of sorts.
It's taking a long time to fold it. You got to get it perfect. He looks like British. He looks like British Brian Blair. I don't know why, but to me he does.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very. I like it. I like the way he has to check those. Oh God.
Boots.
I want him to check his boots too, just because I want him to see us stick his leg up. I'm pretty sure his Catweazles are going to fall out during this match, if you know what I mean. Oh, boy. Here we go. Bobby Barnes, like, disgusting. What's this guy? Have you ever heard of the term romper, Glenn?
Yes.
That's what Catweazles got on right now.
Yeah, it's a romper suit. Yeah, it definitely is. We call them the same thing.
Okay. Maybe we stole that from Britain. I don't know. Oh, nice headlock there by Bobby Barnes.
Yeah, and you're a wrist lock.
Does it say a Dale Mart on the? Is a Dale Mart like Walmart?
Dale Martin Promotions.
Oh, okay. So it isn't. It isn't like Walmart. Oh, I can almost see his Catweazles. They're almost out. They're
Oh,
coming out. Catweazles coming out.
put 'em
Oh
back
my
in
God!
there
What,
with his
what an
knee.
angle.
He put him back in with his knee there.
I guess so. Man.
Oh,
Oh, there we go. That's one way to break a hold. I've heard people say I'm going to shove my foot up your ass, but he did it.
Dundee 0, Aberdeen 5. This would have
Sorry, Aberdeen, you suck.
been at the time when Alex Ferguson was in charge at Aberdeen.
Those must be some lower level teams that I'm not familiar with.
Scottish.
Oh, okay, yeah. I watch a lot of soccer, but none of the Scottish league.
You are familiar with Alex Ferguson, I take it. Ex-manager of Manchester United.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Greatest probably football manager of all time.
He's one of those guys where I don't know the name, but if you showed me a picture of him, I'd know.
Yeah. Well, that was his first managerial job.
I don't like him.
They were tasty.
I'm just kidding. Oh, here we go. I like this. Oh, he tickled him. He tickled him. That's how I broke many wrestling holds when I was younger.
Yeah.
Tickle. When you ever utilized the French tickler?
That's a totally different thing.
Sorry, that's a different podcast. We'll talk about that at a later date. All right. We got a man in a romper facing British Brian Blair. Shorter and less ripped, though. And purple hair. And kind of blue. Is it blue and purple?
Blue and purple, yeah.
Okay. I got no problem with it. Do what you do. I'm going to dye my hair blue and purple. Then I'm going to get divorced. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I think he's had that gimmick since the early 70s.
So he's been going
When he first tagged with Adrian Street.
Here we go. Oh. I know Catweazle's wearing like wrestling boots, but they look like the boots that your plumber would wear over to your house to clean your to fix your toilet.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a very interesting bottle of water he's got there. Sexually patting himself. I like it. Oh yeah, Bobby. I'm sorry. I shouldn't do that anymore. I have to retire that now. I can't do it anymore. I like how he's toweling himself off too. That's very nice.
Good old Max Ward. Can't be. You won't take any nonsense like that.
The referee's like, I just ate. Stop doing that.
Yeah. The referee is the British legend Max Ward in this match.
Yeah. He used to be a wrestler?
I probably was back in the day, yeah. But I've only ever known him as a referee.
He was a wrestler back when Paul Gotch wrestled.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was stylish. I like this Bobby Barnes guy. I've seen him before, but I don't remember. We should do this every so often, Glenn, where you just pick a random British match for me and you, or me, you, and the mayor to watch. We should do that. All right.
We'll have to find another outrageous one the next time we can watch with the mayor.
You know, is there any British little matches?
No.
Oh, God damn it. Wouldn't that be something? I would love to see a little wrestler in a romper. That'd be great. Bend over, touch your toes. Bend over, touch your toe. Oh, you didn't see that coming. I hope he stomps on his foot. I really want him to. It's ironic. I gave the same guy $1 on the street the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a face full of cat people. So. Why isn't the ref counting? Shoulders up, maybe?
Yeah.
Or he's like, I can see his balls. I'm not going to pin until I can't see his balls anymore. I'm not doing it. I will not count 3 count if balls are out. That's Mickey Ward saying. I'm sorry. Oh wow! Oh, this is cool.
I don't know. I'm surprised that nobody ever came up with a hunchback gimmick where they could never be pinned because they never get their shoulders down.
Jim Hurd had to have pitched that. Jim Hurd had to have pitched that to someone.
Yeah.
He could be a tag team with a goddamn Candyman.
Yeah.
I know he did. Oh, slipped right out of it. Bobby Barnes. I'm assuming this is a 2 out of 3 round
Yes.
match.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. I love the way Catweazle escapes submissions. I think they should show it to people at NXT so they can.
Yeah.
I'd like to see since Chase U's dead now, maybe Andre Chase could used to be like a tickling gimmick now, where he tickles people.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it would be good.
End of the round.
There's the end
break it
of
up.
round number 2, and no one has gotten any falls, but we have seen a lot of Catweazle's balls, if you know what I mean. We certainly have. Oh, we can see his belly button too. His belly button's out.
Oh God, he's come undrift.
I hope no more of those buttons pop. His grandma's gonna be pissed when she doesn't get her nightgown back. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And from pursuit.
She's gonna be mad. Which, if you want to wear your grandma's night gear, you do what you do. I am not judging you at all. Oh,
Nice.
oh, there you go. He said, "Fuck this," and just punched him.
Yeah.
Hup, hup,
Yeah.
hup, hup. He fights a lot like I did against my brother, running and tickling.
The headbutt to the stomach.
Yep, because that's all that I wasn't tall enough to do anything else.
Oh, nice busted crab.
It's a single leg crab there.
Single leg, yep.
Now, Mickey Ward said, nope, balls are out. Can't 3 count.
There's Max Wall.
Sorry. I think Mickey Ward was a boxer. That's why I'm confusing Ward. And now he's laughing at him. Oh, hold on. Oh, what do I?
Just had to run the ropes.
Oh, that was fun. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Let's do it again. Sorry, I just had to watch it one more time. He's running. He's cheering him on.
Laughing at him.
Oh no, he's doing this to him. Oh, this is great.
Learning in 1, 2.
Nope, no 3.
Kick out.
Oh, does he just stomp his foot?
No, I don't know what's happened there. Oh, it is a fall.
But the referee never got down and counted.
Oh, he doesn't. He goes 1, 2, 3.
Of course he does. Why wouldn't he? Duh. Of course. What an idiot. Catweazle is the winner of the first fall. Froggy is very happy. Then, was the game Frogger ever a big thing in England?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I think my girls have had that game at some point.
I loved some fucking Frogger back in the day. That's some good shit right there. Aggravating as fuck, but
yeah.
Oh, he said, "I see your belly button and I'm gonna punch it." Belly button punching Bobby Barnes is what they called him. No, they didn't. Can you confirm, Glenn, that they call him belly button punching Bobby Barnes?
Yeah. I cannot confirm nor deny.
Maybe they did. We don't know his personal life. See,
see, blindside of the ref. Excellent.
He hates belly buttons. Ward here pointing.
A public warning there, just in case he. Yeah.
Oh, and now
he knows what he's up to, but can't prove it.
Now he's giving pink eye.
Yeah, but he's nuts there, I think.
Yeah, he's really fucking taking it to him.
Yeah.
He said, "I have nothing of this bullshit. You stupid romper." My grandma wants her clothes back, motherfucker. That's why he's so mad, because that's his grandma's. Figured it out. That's the feud here.
And break the hold.
Does he count like a 1 and a 2?
2, 3.
I like it. I think all referees should do that. Even though I like a 10 count. All right, he's pulling Catweazle by his hair and by his beard. He's choking him with his top rope while standing on the middle rope. The referee said, "Stop it, fucker."
You're going to get a public warning in a minute.
How many public warnings can you get?
3.
Okay.
Get 2 and then kicked out.
I thought maybe it was like a soccer.
It's like having a yellow and a red card, but
Oh, okay, yeah. That was another thing that happened in the Iraq Jordan match. The one Iraq guy scored a goal and he celebrated too much, and he had already gotten a yellow card, so they gave him another yellow card for excessive celebration, and he got thrown out. Yep. Oh, look at that punch by Catweazle. I ain't fucking around anymore. This is my romper. I didn't take your grandma's shit. Oh no, Bobby Barnes. Oh, the outside.
I don't see that very often.
I was gonna say, I imagine that wasn't a thing in '82.
No.
Any tope suicidas?
I think the only time I ever saw one of those was a match where Owen Hart was over here with Kevin, I think.
That makes sense.
In his tag match.
Oh, I'm not sure if he was trying to pin him or take advantage of him. Oh God! What did he just do?
Yeah, God, that's
I think he used the French kicker on him. That's what I saw.
Splitting the difference there.
What in the world? Well, at least Catweazle now knows what Bobby Barnes had for lunch.
Yeah.
Well, that's something. If I'm Bobby Barnes, I'm calling the cops. I'm not sure what has happened there, but I'm pretty sure it was an assault.
He don't look happy.
But I wouldn't be happy either. But he's happy with his hair.
You can see how these seconds behave of how much Chase Samuels was a master at watching British wrestling history. The way he behaved as a second.
Oh yeah, no, he did. Yeah, he was the perfect second. Yeah.
Although these guys won't give him a hip flask, but with the bucket and everything, it's a...
Yeah, no, yeah, probably not going to see a lot of hip flasks. Oh, he's pushing the referee. I think that should be a public warning, Glenn.
That should be a public warning. He's going to get one now.
That's another thing we need to bring back is public warnings. They should say that in wrestling. You're going to get a public warning. You know who would be great in the middle of a Heritage Cup match to just scream out public warning? Would be fucking Noam Dar. That would be great.
Yeah, it would.
That would be amazing.
Especially if he's after he's cheated a lot. The first time his opposition did it.
Yeah. That's a public warning. Yeah, that would be great. Only me and you would pop, but it would be great. Yeah. Oh, working that one-legged crab again. Glenn got the one-legged crabs one time. That was a whole different scenario.
Yeah, I took the tablets and got rid of
that. I'm sorry. Oh, what happened? I was too busy being an idiot.
He's got this.
Oh, he's got the bucket. That's a public warning, sure.
That's a disqualification, I think.
I don't know. Yeah, probably. Consider 50 seconds left. Well, I don't know what happened, but I don't think it matters.
Yeah, it's a disqualification.
Because he hit him with the bucket?
Hit him with a bucket.
Yeah, you can't do that. Oh, no, wait.
Oh, no, he's getting disqualified because of the...
I don't know.
The referee saw the first push.
Oh, okay.
So he's disqualified him for that. So the bucket, the attack with the bucket came after it already disqualified Bobby Barnes.
Oh, okay. So he should have just hit him more times with the bucket because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It wouldn't have mattered.
Well, that was a whole lot of fun. Goddamn, pal. Catweazle and the goddamn romper. He fights Bobby Barnes. I hope
Glad you
everybody enjoyed
enjoyed
that.
Right. Liverpool just 1-0 up.
Who did?
Liverpool.
Well, what can you? I wasn't going to put my fucking faith in Chelsea, Glenn.
Nah.
Wasn't going to do that. Well, that is it for this sort of different edition of A Work in Progress where we reviewed the Royal Rumble. I'm going to call it Rumbling with the Catweazle. I think that's a good
Yeah,
one.
Rumbling with Catweazle. That's good.
You want to do any plugging before we get out of here, Glenn?
Yeah, we've already spoken about him, but we better plug. I'm booking the territory with Danny and Rob, looking at the first and last of wrestling. Their little side project that's on hold at the moment, I believe. I've not seen anything with it. The Road to Wembley for 1981, the match between Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks, which got the most viewers of a wrestling match of any time. 18 million people watched that when
That's
it was
here.
It was good, but it was because it was on the day of the cup final, and they would have done it just after the cup final. So everybody watched cup final and then would have watched the wrestling.
That's the same reason why they used to put wrestling pay-per-views on the night of Thanksgiving, because you'd all sit around and get fat and happy watching football and then sit down and watch wrestling at the end of the night.
Yeah. DDT Wrestling with DC and Doc. They had a week off this week because DC wasn't well, but they should be back this Friday. And of course, there's the
Doctor Who podcast with Danny Inside on SJP World Media.
And if you enjoy War into Attitude, there is a podcast called Nitrogen. They're out there doing all the nitros. They're in 1997 as well at the moment, but they're in January. I think they're not quite up to us yet. But check those lads out if you fancy looking at what WCW were doing while we were watching Raw.
Yeah, definitely check that out. Give all those fantastic people a listen. And make sure you give Sportswire Radio a listen and give our buddy Thomas Bryce a follow on all social media. Just search Thomas Bryce, Brice, and you will find him. And you can check out the website. It's Sportswire with a Z radio.org. Hit that listen now button and you can hear a fantastic podcast such as ours talking about from pro wrestling to anything that you can freaking think of. And Tom does great interviews with British independent wrestlers. I mean, even some independent wrestlers over here now, too. So check them out on YouTube as well, Sportswire Radio with a Z. And, of course, give the other member of our podcast team, the Mayor of Canton, a follow on the Twitter X or whatever the fuck they call that thing now. He eats some fast food every week for a meal with the mayor. Check that out and see what he's eating. It's always fun to see the mayor's opinion on fast food.
Yeah, check out 6 o'clock EST tonight, because apparently this is not a good one. He's got.
I love it when they're not good ones.
When he tweets earlier in the day, being prepared for it not being a good one, then you know he's got the ump.
The mayor never gets angry, so when the mayor's angry, I like it.
Yeah. He's definitely one of the happiest people I know.
Yeah.
So when something makes him unhappy, it's even better.
Yeah, it makes me laugh. Yes, absolutely. It's like coming from a person who can get angry very easily. It's fun to see someone who doesn't get angry.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to be going on the Apron Bump podcast with Kyle coming up. I don't think it's going to be this week or next week. I think it'll be the week after. We'll be looking at Vengeance 2003. Oh boy, Glenn. Oh boy, is all I can say. So make sure you give the Apron Bump a podcast and give Kyle a follow on. I believe he's on the Twitter.
He's still on the Twitter.
At Apron Bump. Check that out. Kyle's always a fun follow. He's a funny guy, so make sure you give that a listen and check that out. And make sure you check out Warring Attitude. Glenn already talked about Warring Attitude. Make sure you check that out. And of course, I don't know shit. The Life and Times of Psycho said, I believe we're the 21st episode. And I would tell you what we're going to watch, Glenn, but I'm not fucking sure yet because I haven't got that far. I lost most of my day on Saturday being sick. So, Sunday being sick. So, but don't you worry, Glenn. By tomorrow, I will have it all figured out. So don't you worry. So that'll be out on
Friday.
Yeah, either way, we'll see. I'm sure I'll figure something out.
Okay,
that'll be out this week, and then we're gonna watch more WCW Uncensored 2000 for our regular weekly show this week. So be on the lookout for all of that. That is it, though. That is all. I have no more breath left in my body. I just need Glenn to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
The recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.